Hey everybody, how's it going? It's Joe, and welcome back to another episode of the Inside Our Phillies podcast. The Phillies are coming off of a 3-1 series win over the Atlanta Braves, but before we get into any of that, let's introduce our co-host for today. We have Jeremy, SJ Phil's fan. How's it going, man?
It's pretty good. I called the 3-1 series victory. Just, they can't sweep. Not unsurprising.
It's a shame they couldn't take advantage and get that win today because it would have completely undone, the sweep at the hand of the Mets earlier in the week. But, I'll still take 3 out of 4, and I think that this is overall a success. So we did have the episode with Jack that we released on Saturday, but we really didn't talk specifically about any of the individual games in the series. So let's continue to kind of go through the games separately like we usually do. Starting with the offensive outburst of the season in a 19-4 win on Thursday, where Kyle Schwarber hit 4 home runs. Obviously, that's what stood out to you and everybody on Thursday. But anything that you want to add on top of that?
No, I mean, that's pretty much the MO for the team this year. When they have a really bad series, the first game of the next series, they explode, and then they kind of quietly whimper to the night like they did this series.
Yeah, Bader got 4 hits on Thursday, and I think that Bader's play of recently has been quite a bit better. I think that there really shouldn't be a reason that he shouldn't start every single day in center field. I think he's been really good recently.
Yeah, he's been great. Yeah, besides like the first week and a half or so, he's been on fire with us.
And what did you make of Aaron Nola? Aaron Nola, who struggled a lot early on, and everybody was kind of going into complete freakout mode in the top of the first with Aaron Nola allowing a few runs. But he ended up getting through 4 runs, 4 strikeouts, 3 walks. So, in my opinion, this wasn't the greatest Aaron Nola start of all time, but it was, a pretty good recovery from that first inning.
Yeah, just gotta get good results. The velocity was very nice to see. It was 94. So as long as that keeps going up, I have faith he can figure out, because if his velocity is getting back up, he can get away with more mistakes.
Yeah, 94 is pretty much like the peak of Aaron Nola velocity too. Like he's never been a guy that's reaching the upper 90s, like 94, 95 with the movement that he gets on that sinker and that curveball, being down to the dirt. He's a really good pitcher, and I think he's still in there somewhere. It's just kind of a matter of time of when it's going to show up. But that was most of the runs that the Phillies scored in the series, and kind of let's talk about that some more, starting with Friday's 2-1 win over the Braves. What do you want to say about that one? That was the game that Suarez started.
I've honest. Oh yeah, that's the one with the sac fly by Bohm.
Yes.
I mean, it's honestly embarrassing we couldn't hit Elder. He guy goes 7 innings. His ERA is 5.85. Like that's Ranger battled through. That's like kind of how we saw him do the postseason last year. Like wasn't his best
exactly
stuff,
what
but
I thought of.
Got the job done. Yeah. I mean, this Marsh was continuing to hit. That's always a good sign. But it was just pathetic that they couldn't do anything against Elder.
Yeah, I mean, the Braves starting pitchers, they've kind of fallen apart. I mean, that Waldrop guy looks really good, and he's seemingly like, one of the better young pitchers in the league, and we'll get into that. But I'm with you on everything that happened on Friday. The Apple TV exclusive, maybe the last Apple TV game that the Phillies are ever going to have, because I think that deal expires at the end of the year.
Yep.
It's a shame. It's a shame that the Phillies can't put together more runs, but they still did get the win. They also got the win yesterday, where the Phillies once again beat the Braves by 1 run, 3-2. Turner had that walk-off 2-run single, 2 outs in the 10th inning. Strahm ended up picking the win in this one. Weston Wilson with the home run early in the game. What did you make of that?
No, I mean, it shouldn't have been that way. Like on Friday, they went 1 for 6 on the scoring position, and then Saturday last night they went 2 for 13, and that second was that hit by Turner. And the first they had only 2 with that inning. They had technically 1 because of that loop that fell in from Stott that should have been caught. That Acuna horribly misread. And Bohm
Yeah.
couldn't score because of how scoring that, and they had that, and then they had Turner's late swing that snuck through the infield. So that's pathetic. 2 for 13. They had so many chances they should have scored, but I mean it was against Sale, so I can understand why they didn't score much. But still, 2 for 13, then 1 for 6, and then today was as we move on to this game, 1 for 6. Yeah. So they had the past 3 games, they had 4 hits. Everyone's going, yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah. Statistically, this is like a top 10 offense in just about every single category, but they just refuse to have it actually feel like a top 10 offense. Like going back real quickly to Saturday night's game, after Turner, who had a great day, put up 3 hits, 4 at-bats, Schwarber 0 for 4, Harper 0 for 4, Realmuto 0 for 4, Bohm 0 for 4, Castellanos 0 for 3, Bader 0 for 4, Sosa 0 for 2. Like, they barely got anything together. And obviously Chris Sale is really, really good, but they also stacked up, the righties in the lineup to go against him, and Sale's his first game back after injury. And this Braves bullpen, it's not great. Like, once again, I feel like they've really struggled to put up runs against the bullpen, which I feel like is becoming more and more of a trend recently, including obviously today.
Yeah, yeah. It's just they like to bait us all in. Like they have the big offensive outburst, score 19 runs, and then nothing, and just get by on our great pitching. It's infuriating, and it's just the pattern of this whole year. They're so inconsistent that these that their highs carry that their statistics look better than they are.
Yeah, and I think for all the talk about the starting pitching, which can be good, other times can be very bad. There's a lot of pressure on these pitchers because they have to be nearly spotless every single game because this offense is more prone to just having complete shutouts than other teams, right? Like Jesus Luzardo today got stretched, like a lot of Phillies pitchers get stretched. 6 2/3, over 100 pitches. This was the Jesus Luzardo that we saw in April and May. Dave Robertson was also pretty good. But the two guys that I feel like you really can't trust in this bullpen, Kerkering and Alvarado, they both really struggled, and I don't really know how comfortable I feel having any of those guys pitch important innings right now.
Hey, I mean Alvarado, well, why the hell would he reach for that ball? Just let it go, let it go, and that happens, and they probably don't score. And then Kerkering, I don't know what you do with him. Like the moment anything like bad happens, he falls apart. That one of those walks, it was like nowhere close. The guy's a mess. He gets in his head. Honestly, he's kind of turning into the Bohm of pitchers.
The Bohm of pitchers. Do you want to explain that for everybody? I think that's really funny.
Yeah, no, you could just if something doesn't go his way, you could tell his demeanor, his energy, he just falls apart, pouts, and he falls apart.
I'm with you. Once again, we saw somebody who can't even get a single out of the bullpen. Three plate appearances, and Kerkering was out of there for Tanner Banks, who did a really good job actually, coming to take over for Kerkering. But I think the guy that I'm even more upset at is Alvarado, who I think we can start to understand maybe why Jose Alvarado took steroids, because ever since this guy's been back, which has now been a couple of weeks, I just don't see the old Jose Alvarado in there at all. And he's quickly turning into somebody that I really don't like, which is a shame because he was such a happy-go-lucky, fun pitcher to watch for so many years, but he just kind of fucked the team over. I'm sorry for my French there, but he did. He made the Phillies have to make acquisitions in the bullpen market when really you can argue it, could have been better use of assets to not have to spend all the money on David Robertson, or maybe you could have got away with trading fewer prospects and not getting Duran, even though we all love Duran. And now he's back, and this is looking like more and more of a question on if the Alvarado options could even get picked up. Because as far as lefties go, I mean, he's definitely below Banks, probably below Strom, and we'll get into the signings that they made later on, but I might have Mayza above Alvarado right now as well.
Yeah, I mean, clearly they don't trust him. That this was his first game in almost a week.
Yeah. And with the rosters expanding, like maybe we'll see even less of Jose Alvarado, right? Like,
but they should be grinding him to the ground. This is the point of having him back if you're not going to use him.
yeah, I mean, unless it's something where he's refusing to come in, but that doesn't seem like a Jose Alvarado thing to do for me personally. He's except for taking steroids, always been a team first guy.
Yeah.
But offensively, one thing that I really wanted to talk about, because it's been a little bit frustrating to me, is the center of this lineup just doesn't really seem there. Like I'm more and more I'm questioning why Schwarber's hitting second and Harper's hitting third. Um, Harper, I think, needs protection in a way that Schwarber doesn't, especially with Harper, swinging so much first pitch and kind of getting himself out recently, offensively and defensively, and we'll get to that. Harper's been a bit frustrating to watch, and the body language has been kind of off all year. The play has been good, but it really hasn't been up to his standards. What do you make of Bryce Harper?
Yeah, yeah. It just feels like he's putting too much pressure on himself. Something, and just like anytime he makes an out, he gets frustrated. But then he doesn't give himself a chance to like do better. Like it's really frustrating when it's like we get these like big 2-out doubles or something. And he comes up and then first pitch grounds out. It's just like how often has that happened lately?
I saw people saying on Reddit and on Discord, like, when is the last time that this guy came up clutch? And I think I still trust him in the postseason. I mean, until proven otherwise, I probably will trust him to, make the big hit in the postseason. But at least for now, I mean, seems like you kind of can't count on him, which is a scary place to be when you're, supposed to be the heartbeat of the team.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, I just feel most people on this team haven't been clutch this year, so it's just a team-wide problem. Uh, yeah, he still has an OPS of 823 when we're in a scoring position. So like it's yeah, but it does feel like there've been bigger moments when he just isn't doing it. Like also like he went insane in late July and then he's back to something. It just feels like he's just way more streaky this year and it's just more off than on.
I agree with you. I'm looking up right now what teams have the best runners in scoring position this year. Do you want to take a guess on where the Phillies rank in runners in scoring position this year?
Okay, it just I'm sure it's better than I think, so I'm gonna guess seventh.
I'm looking it up. I'm not entirely sure. Team splits. Dodgers are in the lead. You are close. Phillies are actually sixth in runners in scoring position
Ah,
this year.
yeah, it just wait, but
It doesn't
what is that batting average?
does not feel like it. The batting average that they have is 262.
Wow.
Um, and this ranking is an OPS, not batting average. So if you look
Uh,
at just batting average, it could be lower. Batting average, they're ninth.
but that's still better than it. Yeah, it's just 'cause honestly, batting average does matter more when running scoring position because if you're not getting a goddamn hit, like what's they're not getting in.
Yeah, Phillies have definitely had a good slug with runners in scoring position, which again doesn't feel like that at all. But Washington, strangely, has a better batting average than they do with runners in scoring position. They're sandwiched between Washington and the Mets. But the Yankees are below them, the Red Sox are below them, Padres are below them, Astros are below them, Mariners are below them. So like the Phillies, like strangely, like I feel like every single time you look up an offensive category, the Phillies are always top 10. Even though like it feels like the offense is bad, and I think that the offense is probably what's going to doom this team if anything does in the postseason. But like for some reason, statistically, it just does not seem to work out that way.
Well, yeah. So like some part of the reason why Harper's numbers seem so unclutch is I'm just looking at his splits this year. If the opponent is under 500, his OPS is 933. If the opponent is over 500, his OPS is 753. So he isn't helping us against the good teams.
Yeah, like nobody cares if he makes the big hit against the Rockies or the Pirates or something like that.
Well,
It's a good
that's
point.
probably why. Well, yeah, that's probably why we have all this perception. It's just we have a hard time to just like looking really good against these good teams, so we just have no problem crushing the bad teams.
That's really interesting, and I think part of it too might be that he's letting his defense impact him at the plate. This is now, yet another time today where Bryce Harper's inability to handle a rundown has made the Phillies kind of worse off and allowed some runs to, get scored, runners to advance. But we had a question in from Met Suck, who wanted to know, why can't this team run a proper pickle defense?
Why? Because they clearly aren't practicing it, because this is pathetic. But to counter that point, we had Ryan Howard. Every time who would throw to second base, it would go into the outfield. So I honestly think what we do now is fine. I will forever not care how bad our first base defense is after watching Ryan Howard for years.
This is true. This is very true. Reese Hoskins was also definitely worse than Bryce Harper at first base.
Yeah, no, but Hoskins was still way better than Howard. Howard literally could not throw to second base. It always went to the outfield. Always.
Yeah, I think the thing that's frustrating with Harper, like with Howard and with Hoskins, with both of them, you always had the sensation that they knew what they were going to do with the ball and that their instincts were good. They just maybe didn't have the physical tools to be able to act on those instincts. It feels like it's the opposite problem with Bryce Harper, where he just has absolutely no idea what to do. He's obviously been an outfielder and a catcher in the past. But it's like that little league skill of what am I going to do if the ball gets hit to me? And it feels like he never knows what he's going to do when the ball gets hit to him.
Yeah, which is weird though. He was looking pretty good 2023 and 2024. So I don't know what happened. He's just something's going on where he's just getting his head too much this year, I feel.
Yeah, he does not seem to be having any fun at all.
This whole team doesn't seem like they're having fun.
No, and I think that's a big part of why I personally don't enjoy watching them as much as I've enjoyed watching Phillies teams of the past, just because, like you said, they don't seem to be enjoying themselves whatsoever. But on a more positive note, we got another question from Owen's deck, and Owen said that StatCast is showing that Trey Turner has moved from the 25th to 99th percentile in outs above average this year. And what do we think about the change in that defense this year for Trey Turner?
Well, I think it's great. It never was a question of ability. It was a question of getting it his own way. All his errors were just lazy.
Yeah.
Always were.
I'm with you. Trey Turner, to me, he has enough speed to have good range, and that range is kind of showing out this year. The thing that I always worry about a little bit with Trey Turner, and this is why, to me, I think he's a really good shortstop this year, but maybe not 99th percentile, is I just can't fully trust him on the balls that are hit right to him. So many guys on this team, it feels like he's a little bit checked out of the game defensively, Yeah,
no, yeah. When Turner has time, that's when he makes his errors.
The more he thinks about it, the more he flubs it.
Yeah. When he has time, he just sidearms it, lobs it, and he just way off the back. And when he has to rush it, and the instincts take over. He just quickly grabs it and lasers it.
What do you make of Alec Boehm's defense at third? It's completely changed to me. I feel pretty good when the ball gets hit to him. Might not have the most range in the world, but it's crazy to me still how I feel pretty good about Alec Boehm defensively. I never would have thought that I was saying that 4 years ago.
Yeah, no, the past 2 years I don't mind him defensively at all at third anymore. No.
And the ESPN crew said, I think Rob Thompson said something to the effect of I can't believe that I'm excited to get Alec Boehm's defense back on the field, which is true. I can't believe that Rob Thompson said something like that to the ESPN crew. But he's not wrong. You definitely can tell the difference between having Otto Kemp at third base and Alec Boehm, which to me is just still pretty wild.
But with Boehm too, it was people were saying for the years when he was terrible, it was clearly a footwork issue.
Yeah,
the arm strength was good, his instincts were good. He just couldn't get the ball out of his glove properly, and so he after that 3-hour game, he apparently that was the trick to fix him. Ever since then, he's been great.
Yeah, ever since that 3-error, I hate this place day. But it does make Turner and Boehm. It makes the path a little bit more interesting for Aiden Miller to get playing time next year, which he might be ready for now that he's starting to heat up in Double-A, and he's had a really good month since the trade deadline. Because Trey Turner not moving off a shortstop, he's going to be the shortstop next year and for years after that as well. Alec Boehm has 1 year left for arbitration. And while I think it's a potential non-tender, depending on how this rest of the season goes, I think it's fair to go with the expectation that Trey Turner is going to be that Alec Boehm is going to be the opening day third baseman for the Phillies. So then are you waiting until 2027 for Aiden Miller? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, because there's a chance that Stott just regresses again to be useless with the bat, and that's going to be Aiden Miller's. That's probably the best chance he has next year. And while he's been hot fire this month, I want to see it. I want to see more of it. Like I want to see more of that power develop because surprisingly, it's been his speed this year that's like shocked everyone.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty crazy. He is not as much of a power guy as I think people were expecting him to be, but like every other aspect of his game seems to be better than what people thought. So it's interesting.
Yeah, the guy has 50 stolen bases. I mean, he has 12 home runs now, which is just how much better he's been with power lately. So maybe that's finally coming on because he had like no
Yeah.
home runs for a while. So that's a great sign. So he could just be a stud. So like like anything you would trade Stott or even Bohm.
Do you know who was drafted 3 picks before Aiden Miller?
Uh, what position does he play?
It's a pitcher.
It's a pitcher. Okay. What team?
Braves.
Is it the guy that pitched today?
It is. Hurston Waldrop was the 24th overall pick in 2023. Aiden Miller was 27th. So the question that I was kind of thinking today, because like, I mean, Waldrop looks like really, really good, is would you trade Aiden Miller for Hurston Waldrop 1-for-1? I think that's a pretty easy question. And then number 2, would you trade Andrew Painter for Hurston Waldrop 1-for-1?
No to both.
Really interesting.
Yeah. I haven't watched him enough and everything, but he could be impressive now. But his minor league stats aren't. His whip, his walk rate is like half as was in the minors, and I just feel like part of that problem was like today also like they were swinging at pitches that were clearly going to be in the dirt. So I think just maybe some more time and film on this guy, they might be able to pick up on his control because in the minors he had a major walking problem. His minor career whip is 1.4.
I mean, this year has it been better? What's his whip in the minor leagues this year?
His whip in the minor leagues this year is 1.4. He
Uh,
he has an ERA of 4.42 in minors with 5 walks per 9 and 8 hits.
He looks really
Right.
good. Like, you're kind of making me think that maybe my initial impression was wrong because I was going to say yes to both. Part of that's because I'm pretty low right now on Andrew Painter. But I don't know. You might be convincing me the other way on this one.
I mean, he fell off the top prospects list before 2025.
Yeah, I mean, that splitter is just nasty. Like, that, I don't know how someone's supposed to hit that pitch.
You don't swing at it.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well,
That's
like that happened, but like with JT's at bat in one of the game, it was like 0-2. The pitch wasn't even close to anywhere near the zone he swung at it, and they keep complaining. They keep talking about how he's not walking this year, and I don't know why he's swinging so freely this year still.
I think it is. Do you have any guess
What?
why he's swinging so freely?
Oh, because our coaching staff is refusing to stop any of these bad habits that they said they were going to stop this year.
The coaching staff doesn't seem to do their jobs at all.
No,
It just doesn't seem to be something that they enjoy.
no, yeah, like someone like JT, like do you think, like stop swinging, like do not swing, like force these, like you gotta like make them get out of their own way. Put the stop sign up on like the red light. You're not swinging on this pitch because we know it's going to be a ball.
Speaking of JT, he's cooled down big time. Like he had like that like real hot streak for a month or so, and it feels like recently it's back to being, the JT of the first few months of the season.
Yeah, because he's swinging at everything again. It's just, they keep saying, oh, like you could throw out the chase weight being better overall this year, but in the big moments against good teams, we're still swinging at crap in the dirt, getting ourselves out when we're in scoring position.
I think that I am a little bit more believing of everything than you are, but I'm with you that there's quite a lot to be concerned about. Um, and I think we're going to have to wait and see what happens. And the Phillies are going to have some really good series coming up against playoff teams. Going to Milwaukee, going to LA later in the month. Another series against the Mets. Like the Phillies are going to have opportunities to get playoff ready, go into some tougher road environments, and we're going to see what happens. But if they continue to look this way against those better teams in the league, I think that you're completely right to be concerned.
Well, yeah. Cause the problem is just we saw what happened the past 2 years, and it was the same issue with their approach to the plate was the problem, and then they didn't change the team at all. So that's why I'm just so pessimistic. It's like they haven't shown anything to show me that they're getting better. If anything, they're getting worse. Like Castellanos is by far the worst he's ever been with us.
Yeah,
and that's saying something.
Castellanos is a bigger and bigger problem every single series, and I guess you could still platoon him with Kepler, but I don't know. Castellanos should not be getting the playing time that he's currently getting, but we have talked about that so many times that I know that we're in complete agreement on that as well. Speaking of Max Kepler, Max Kepler is day to day with like a shoulder injury from that attempt to make a diving stop the other day in left field.
Can't believe that.
I looked. I thought he looked like he was concussed after that. To tell you the truth, it looked like he had absolutely no idea where he was. But I guess I'm glad that that's not the injury and it's a shoulder injury instead. But I'd certainly rather have him than Castellanos every single day.
Yeah, at least Kepler has been still making hard contact. It's just Castellanos, just that strikeout in the ninth. What was that? There's no chance of making contact with that swing.
That's what you got to expect at this point, right? But speaking of the news, with what we got into with Kepler a little bit there, lots of news to discuss from the last couple days of the Phillies. And we'll start with Tim Mayza, who the Phillies made a claim for, and he will be active on the 26-man roster tomorrow. Tim Mayza, who has been a pretty good relief pitcher for a lot of his career. 2021, he had a 3.4 ERA over 61 games, 3.14 over 63 games in 22, 152 over 69 games in 23. 2024, though, pretty brutal. 50 games, 6.33 ERA. And in 7 games this year, he's looking a little bit like the Tim Mayza of old with a 289. He's a lefty out of the bullpen. What do you think about the Phillies kind of making that waiver claim from the Pirates and snatching Tim Mayza?
Oh, first of all, it's the 28-man roster tomorrow.
It is. You're right. That's a good point.
Second of all, I like it because we're going to need another lefty because we won't have Alvarado available, and Rom still scares the crap out of me. And so, it never hurts to have another lefty.
He hasn't played enough to get like the true, red or blue yet on Savant, but you kind of see like the, slightly shaded red and blue with the amount of playing time that he's had so far. And there's a lot of red on that Savant page, which I'd like to see from a waiver claim. He already has that Phillies hat on, in that picture. Love to see it. Tim Mayza is a local guy. He grew up and went to school just outside of Philadelphia. I have a real optimism about this, and I'm so happy that the Phillies are kind of thinking out of the box and making moves late in the year that I really didn't expect that they would make. And since this did happen in August, he is postseason eligible, which I like to see.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, everyone's postseason eligible. There's so many loopholes you could do with the injury. You could just phantom IL someone and say that they're eligible for it. But
sure.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he got the nice XBA, XERA. The extension is 84. So that's good. The hard hit, I mean, the big thing is the walk percentage is very low so far, and the hard hit percentage is very low. And if you just look at his previous good years, it's pretty much when he had very good, very low fly ball percentage, very high ground ball percentage, which is exactly what we need.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's a chance that this guy could be pitching, pretty big postseason innings. Because, like you said, Strom is kind of a question mark. Alvarado's a question mark, and he's straight up not going to be able to pitch in the postseason. So the Phillies maybe were a lefty short. And I think that this is really good and such typical Pirates to do this, just try to dump salary. But you know what? I'll take it when it helps out the Phillies. And I also can't believe that he got to the Phillies on the waiver list. Like, I would have thought somebody would have just taken a flyer on Tim Mayza before Phillies came up in the waiver order.
Yeah, yeah. So many. I never understand some waiver moves how some people get past certain teams, but I'm glad.
Phillies also made another addition to their roster, signing Walker Buehler, the former two-time All-Star, to a minor league deal today. He's apparently going to be making one start in AAA Lehigh Valley, and then he's going to make it up to the Phillies to make a start at first against the Royals in a couple of weeks, and we'll see what happens. Walker Buehler has not been great this year. ERA about 5.5. A lot of blue on his Savant. But obviously, for many years, Walker Buehler was one of the better pitchers in the National League. And his 2021 is just almost as good as a starting pitcher can get. What do you think of Walker Buehler being a Philly?
Yeah, I don't hate it, because especially if he can kind of take the spot of Taijuan Walker and in the bullpen in the postseason. I like that because his fastball is averaging 94. So in the bullpen, it'd probably be higher. That'd be nice. His ground ball percentage is still pretty good. Just the problem is, he's not striking one out, and he's walking a shit ton of batters.
Yeah, I can't say you can expect a ton out of Walker Buehler, but here's what I think is interesting, right? Like, he's going to be in the Phillies pitching lab for the next month, and there's going to be a real chance for him to kind of get better. I don't think the Red Sox have quite the pitching lab that the Phillies do. The Dodgers probably do, but if there is one thing that I trust the Phillies with, it's pitching development. And he's going to get in here for a month. If he has anything in his arm, despite all the injuries and everything that he's been through, it would not surprise me if the Phillies were to, extend him and try to get him back in the fold next year for the cheap. And I think that there has to be something there. I mean, he is still a big name, Walker Buehler, and I can't not believe that there's something in there. There has to be something, and we'll see if the Phillies can unlock that at all.
I mean, he could be just one of those guys that shines in the brightest moments. Like last year's numbers were pretty much the same, and he was terrible, but he was great in the postseason. So
He pitched
maybe
the
he can
last
just,
out of the World Series.
yeah, maybe he can he's one of those guys that needs the spotlight.
Maybe. I mean, it's a pretty tough path that I would have to think for him to be starting games in the playoffs for this team. Like, there's probably have to be injuries or something like that. But if he can replace Taijuan Walker, which I think is very feasible, this is great. And again, all you're doing is giving him money. Like, you're not giving him any prospects. You're not making your team any worse. You're just giving a guy a chance.
Yeah. No. There's no harm in trying him for a game or two in September.
Yeah, no, you're spot on. So with the rosters expanding, you're allowed to add one position player and one pitcher. And for the Phillies, Mayza is going to be that pitcher. And then they're eventually going to have to get somebody else off when Buehler comes up, but we'll probably talk about that a lot more in about a week. And it's also been said that Garrett Stubbs is going to be making his way back up to the major league team, and he'll be back on the Phillies tomorrow. What do you think about Garrett Stubbs being back?
If our offense becomes consistent, I would not be surprised.
I think it's cool. I mean, it's pretty cool. For the podcast, we talked to a major leaguer this year. Now we can once again say that, which is cool. Garrett Stubbs. I mean, I was already such a big fan of him, but hanging out with him in Lehigh Valley, both what was on the podcast feed and the stuff that wasn't, and everything that I heard and talked about other players with. He is just such a clubhouse guy, and I know people have talked about it, but to actually live it and experience it is completely different. And I fully believe that come postseason time, he's going to be the backup catcher. I think that, barely ever see the backup catcher play in the postseason anyways, unless it's like garbage time of a game. But I don't see a reason why Marchand should be getting playoff innings, playoff roster spots more than Garrett Stubbs. I mean, what a guy.
Yeah, no, the clubhouse has desperately needed him. We need someone to bring energy in. I hope he's got tons of playlists ready. He's got to get everyone hyped up, and he could be the boost our offense needs. And if it's so, it'd be so really frustrating that why he wasn't up. But I'm sticking to it that it was very clear to me that they kept him down there to work with Abel and Painter, and that could be huge because the guy's Duran, and Abel's already been knocked to the bullpen for some.
Abel got sent down to the minor leagues.
Oh wow, yeah.
Abel had one start in Minnesota where he was very bad, like 3 innings, 6 runs, or something like that. And then he had one bullpen outing where he went 1 inning, allowed 5 runs. And Minnesota then optioned him back to St. Paul AAA. So, I mean, Nick Abel, it seems like the Phillies.
Was that yesterday? Oh, it was yesterday. Jeez, yeah.
Yeah, so it seems like the Phillies might have sold high on Nick Abel, all things considering, which we can probably thank Garrett Stubbs for.
Yeah, no, I said at the time that it was, to me, the trade was really like you're exchanging the pitcher Duran for Abel, but yet you're giving up Tait. So that's why when I saw that was all we gave up, I was like, holy crap.
Yeah, I mean, it really does look pretty good now, and we still will see what happens to Tait. He has a very high ceiling, and especially if he sticks as a catcher, he could be real good. But you have to feel better about that trade now than you felt a month ago, and I think a lot of people still felt pretty good about that a month ago. A lot of news happening in these last couple of days for the Phillies, but I like it. We're kind of getting into the best time of the year, I think, where the weather is just perfect here on the East Coast. It's not too hot, but the terrible frigid winter hasn't come in yet. And it's just kind of starting to feel like you got that little chill of playoff baseball in the air, and I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, wait, do we not play on Tuesday?
Yes, this is a pretty weird series that we have coming up, and let's actually talk a little bit about the probables. And you're right, we do play the Brewers tomorrow, and then we have off Tuesday, and then we play Wednesday and Thursday, which does have to do with the Labor Day thing. So on Monday, we have Taijuan Walker against Jacob Mizrowski, who has struggled of late. We have a 4:10 game. This was originally going to be an earlier game, but when ESPN picked up the Sunday night game, they pushed back. The Brewers pushed back the start time on Monday just to make it a little bit easier for the Phillies. And then on Wednesday, Aaron Nola is going against Jose Quintana on a 7:40 start. And then another day game on Thursday is we have Ranger Suarez against Freddie Peralta. This was going to be, a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday series, but the Brewers wanted to play on Labor Day to get the extra ticket sales, and the Phillies were fine with that. So that was moved to Monday with the off day in between Monday and Wednesday's games. And then they moved it back because of the Phillies having the Sunday night game picked up. So very weird how this series ended up coming together. But what are your thoughts? And what's a pretty big series? Phillies are now 5 games back of the Brewers. So it's possible, albeit unlikely, that they end up with that 1 seed in the National League.
Yeah, no, it's pretty big. The Brewers have been struggling a bit lately. I mean, just looking at Andrew Vaughn's numbers, he's come back to earth the past month, especially the last 14 days. It's just no home runs, OPS of 519. So I expect him to go hit 5 home runs against us. But no, I think we have a good shot. Yeah, I think the Brewers are just struggling now. I think a little bit of the overperforming that they've been doing. It's coming back down to earth. I mean, the big thing is that we're missing Woodruff, who destroys us. So I think we have a pretty good shot at this to at least win the series.
I mean, Mizrowski, I think it's hard to trust him right now, but you can't trust Taijuan Walker either. Quintana's, not going to scare you. Freddie Peralta's been real good. 2.58 ERA. Did not realize he's been that good this year.
Wow.
Yeah, crazy, right? 16-5. Not that wins and losses mean much, but 168 strikeouts. He's probably heading towards a 200 strikeout year with an ERA in the mid-2s. Crazy stuff out of Freddie Peralta.
What the hell?
Crazy. I saw, 0.58, and I was like, oh, it's like 358, 458. That sounds like Freddie Peralta to me, not 258. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, geez, like you think he'd be talked about more. Yes, he's basically just talked with Skeens and Sanchez.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty crazy. It's actually unbelievable. I mean, it's probably a big part of why the Brewers have been so good. Like, I feel like Milwaukee is one of those teams that like you just don't hear that much about. Despite how good or bad they are. Like nobody ever thinks about the Brewers. I don't know if it's just me that feels that way though.
No, I do because I just remember like the 06 to like 012, whatever we would always that'd be the one team that was always bad that we would struggle against.
Ryan Braun, the Phillies destroyer.
Oh my god, yeah. Oh my god.
I like the park. I like the park that they have in Milwaukee. I was there as a kid in 2009, so I was 9 years old. First ever Phillies road trip that I went on actually was then Miller Park, now American Family Field. Um, I had a really good time, and I kind of hope that we match up with the Phillies with the Brewers in the postseason. Not only because I think that the Brewers are a fun matchup, but also because I could get a free place to stay in Wisconsin, so that would be nice to cut down my playoff expenses.
Yeah, geez, just look, I forgot how much Ryan Braun killed us. Oh my god, in 79 games, 25 home runs, hit 385 with an OPS of 1.1. Oh my god.
Scorched earth. Steroids probably played a part in that. He played a lot longer than I remember, which is weird because like I was obviously watching baseball like the way I am now, like watching every single night when he retired, and I believe it was 2019, right? That was his last
No,
year.
he played in 2020, but after 2016, the last 4 years, he was pretty like replacement level 1.9, 1.7, 1.1. And so he just once he just fell off, nothing to talk. They didn't talk about him because he's Milwaukee.
I think he still went scorched earth against the Phillies though, if I'm remembering right. Let me see if I can find this. Let me see if I can do a StatMuse search.
All right, I can do that real fast too.
Yeah, go for it. StatMuse is really good. For people that haven't heard of StatMuse, you can
Oh,
kind of like go ahead.
yeah, yeah, no, yeah. So to 2016, he in 6 games, OPS of 970 against us. In 2017, he OPS of 1.4 in 5 games. Okay. 2018, OPS of 1.1. Oh my god! Like we single handedly made him above replacement level. Yeah.
What
Oh
about
my god! In
2019?
2019, 1.2. Like what the in 7 games?
He's such a Phillies killer. Ugh. Yeah, I feel like we spend so much time talking about like the Phillies killers, but like who are like the Phillies flounderers, like the people who like always don't hit against the Phillies, you know? Like
Oh,
I
I
can
mean,
think of some pitchers.
yeah, like Edwin Diaz is notorious. Scott Broxton, Jonathan Broxton was a big one.
Iglesias. I think of a lot
Yeah,
of relief
well,
pitchers.
yeah. But I mean, yeah, I mean, I mean, because it's more often to remember, like, oh, I mean, I can remember terrible players that always did well against. Scott Hairston was,
Yeah.
yeah, was his career OPS of 738. His OPS plus was like 100, I think. Uh, yeah, 97. His career OPS plus is 97, and against the Phillies for his career. Oh God, there we go. Let's see. Yeah, he had a 960 OPS against us. And then the
That's
pitcher who was terrible that always killed us was Tim Redding.
that is a good point. Tim Redding was always pretty good against the Phillies.
Yeah, yeah. His career ERA plus was 87. His ERA with the national career ERA is 4.95. Career WAR of 0.6. 6 strikeouts per 9. WHIP of 1.49. So basically 5. If you go to his career pitching, against the Phillies was, yeah, his ERA was 3.01.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. What do you think Shohei Ohtani's career OPS is against the Phillies?
Oh, ooh, yeah, another one. We've got him pretty good. I'm going to say 670.
662. That's a good call. That's Because he's like
Nice.
the one guy that sticks out in my head as like somebody that does a lot
You're right,
worse
yeah.
against the Phillies.
Albert Pujols, I also remember, was pretty bad against us.
Let's see. Pujols' career OPS against the Phillies. It feels so nice that we were the ones that retired Albert Pujols and Yadier Molina and stuff like that. It feels so good. But
His
Pujols'
OPS against the
career,
Phillies 854, but against everyone else it's way higher. So
I guess I'll take it. I guess I will take it. Albert Pujols. I
yeah,
miss those kind of guys like him and Miguel Cabrera. Like I kind of miss those old guard first basemen.
yeah,
Fun.
he was there were only 10 teams that he did worse against, and one of those was the Cardinals because he only played 13 games against them when he was a lot
Okay.
older. So like
Yeah.
we prime Pujols we were pretty good at stopping.
I'll take it. I mean, Albert Pujols was just like a complete menace. He was
Oh yeah,
so good.
oh
So
yeah,
good.
no, like yeah, he should like Howard and Rollins MVP years. It was just voter fatigue. It's the only reason he didn't win.
And then such like an Angels thing to like sign the guy and he like immediately regresses. Like it's so sad, but it's such an Angels thing at the same time.
Yep.
Um, anyways, we have kind of been all over the place here recently, but that's okay. I kind of like that when we get into like this random baseball discussion. But is there anything else that you had for this episode?
No, I mean I called 3 out of 4, got 3 out of 4. As much as it annoys me how the offense was meh for 3 out of 4 games, I'll take it.
Absolutely, and we'll see what happens in this series. I think that this is a real opportunity. If the Phillies sweep the Brewers, which I'm not expecting, but it's possible they could make a real run for the 1 seed, which would be very much so appreciated. And if they lose, obviously, maybe the NL East could get competitive once again, and that bye would look less likely. But we're into September baseball. Everything matters a lot. I'm looking forward to it, and I hope you all too. So with that being said, we will talk to you later. We'll be back on Thursday with another episode of Inside Our Phillies. If you have any questions that you want to ask us for any future episodes, be sure to reach out. Either reach out on Reddit r/Phillies, or you can reach out on our Discord server. We have a podcast channel in there that you can be sure to ask any kind of questions you want to. So we'll catch you all on Thursday, and have a great week. Enjoy your Labor Day.